Good morning, mere mortals, and welcome to Spookathon. I literally just rolled out of bed. So incredibly tired today, but I did sleep in a bit. It is the beginning of Spookathon, and I am just super excited. This is my first, official reading challenge. Readathon. I don't even know. Is it a challenge or just like a readathon? I have no idea. But Spookathon is hosted by Books and Lala. She is one of my favorites. Probably my favorite top 5 booktubers, and I just got so excited when she announced it. So here I am. Here I'm doing it. And I have my 5 books. I figured I would just let you guys know real quick what they are, and then I'm gonna get started. Life has to go on. Even though I'm reading 5 books for Spookathon, I still have a ton of stuff I have to do this week. My kids are off. It's what is it, Columbus Day or something? So we're headed to the cider mill. It's our first cider mill trip this fall, probably our last one too. Who knows? We'll see. So that should be fun. And yeah, just lots of random things to do. And I'm still doing Preptober for NaNoWriMo month, so yeah.
My TBR originally was a specific way, and now it's changed a little bit because I woke up and I'm definitely in a moody mood. So I will be changing my TBR. So just to give you guys a heads up, the first challenge was read something with red in it, and I was originally going to read These Witches Don't Burn by Isabel Sterling. I decided that I am gonna forego this one right now. I'm just not feeling the extremely juvenile, uh, no, I'm just not feeling it today. So instead, I'm going to read Hunting Prince Dracula. I think it's a little bit more like what I'm looking for, more of this suspenseful thriller mystery type of situation. Plus I had just read the Stalking Jack the Ripper last month, and I really want to just kind of want to read this one. So I'm going to be reading that one instead for the read something with red on the cover. Then there is read something that has a spooky word in it, and I chose The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw, and I'm excited about this. I think it's a reasonable size book. I can get through pretty quickly. Read something that is read something that is the Bone House. Read something that is set in a spooky place, and so I am going to be reading The Bone House. It's set in the graveyard, so that again is a pretty decent sized book. I think it'll be an easy read that I'll be able to get through quickly. Then there is read a thriller, and I believe I'm going to be reading Dial M for Murder by Marnie Bates. This is an older one, and it is set around this girl who finds herself in a murder for hire ring, and she's got to kind of figure out what's going on before it's too late. I think I'm gonna read this. I'm saying I think because, like I said, I'm in a moody mood. So we'll see. And then the last thing is read something that you normally wouldn't read. And I would normally not read a spooky haunted horror book. So I'm going to read The Haunting of Hill House. And that's by Shirley Jackson. So this this is just about over 200 pages. So it's a super easy read. Yeah, that's what's going on today. So let's get this started. All right, we just got back from the cider mill. I'm making tacos, tacos. It's not Tuesday, but oh well, tacos are delicious any day of the week. I was listening to a little bit of Hunting Prince Dracula on the way back, and I gotta tell you, like, honestly, Audrey Rose and Thomas's relationship is like probably one of my favorite romances right now, even though this is really not a romance book. It's just this like such interesting dynamic that they have. You know, Thomas is extraordinarily smart, but very debonair and like cocky and everything and outright like audacious. And Audrey Rose is super smart as well, but she's not as like audacious. She obviously wants to maintain good standing and do what's right, but she can't help but like be drawn to him. And I just think this is awesome. Anyways, the story itself was a little slow at the first part. Obviously, they had to set up Audrey Rose and Thomas after having such a dramatic experience from stalking Jack the Ripper. But then by chapter 12, it's really got into it. We've got some new characters coming in. We've got some interesting things happening, and it's piqued me. So I'm ready for this all day long. Okay, guys. So today was a busy day, had lots to do, and ended up going to the cider mill. It was a lot of fun. We got some delicious cider donuts and some apple cider, obviously, and got to see the waterfall that powers the cider mill, which is really kind of a cool thing. Tonight I am reading the first book on my TBR for Spookathon, and that is The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. I'm just gonna get started, so let's read a little bit. Alright, so I just finished the first chapter, and I have to say that the author has such a beautiful way of describing everything. She's a very brilliant visual storyteller. I don't know for sure if they said her first name in the first chapter, but beginning of second chapter, they call her Penny. So Penny must be our main character. So that's about as far as I know. Minus the fact that I think her mother is the lighthouse keeper. They live on like the lighthouse island. So very mysterious, I suppose. Is it mysterious or am I just being dumb? Alright, onward to more. Oh my gosh, we were outside, we were doing the leaf piles, the mailman came, I got book mail, I'm just so excited. I ended up opening it up already. My kids are still down here making messes with the leaf piles. It's fall. Say hello! I'm recording you! Hi. They're trying to make a giant leaf pile. Earlier it was super windy and so we couldn't get anything done, but now the wind has died down, so they're ready for a serious leaf pile extravaganza. So today I got a book sleeve. Today I got a book sleeve. I don't even remember who I bought it from. That it is the book sleeve that I ordered a while back. This is from Naughty Hearts. It's an Etsy store. It's a super duper cute, really good quality book sleeve. I've never had one before and I figured I would go ahead and get it. I love llamas, okay? And the inside has like a reversible, like cute little polka dot. It's very nice quality. It is small. I got the small. I didn't know what the sizing was when I went on there. But I think this would basically fit any paperback book. But I'm reading The Wicked Deep right now for, obviously, for our readathon right now for Spookathon. And so it fits perfectly inside my llama bag. So isn't it adorable, people? Absolutely adorable. So I got that. I figured I would go ahead and share it with you now. All right, so this, I guess, is kind of part of a haul because I did buy some stuff this month. The first book that just came in from Book Depository is The Last Wish, and this is part of, well, technically it's the short stories, the first book of short stories for the Witcher series, and I want to get through the Witcher series because the Netflix adaptation of it is coming out, I think, in December. I don't know if I'll be able to get through the whole Witcher series by then, but I thought it would be kind of fun to go ahead and get started all the way through it. So I got the first book to start that whole series. And then I also got the second book of The Folk of the Air, which I'm also reading through the entire series right now. In anticipation for Queen of Nothing coming out later this month. And this, I got The Wicked King by Holly Black. I am a little sad because when I had got it, the measurements sounded, they looked like they were the same as the book I already have. But alas, it is slightly bigger. Oh well, I'll deal with it. But at least I have both of these. I also own the little novella that's from Tear Inside, which I think is called The Sisters something. I should probably figure out what it is before. Let me just figure it out. Okay. Woo! Took a second. Yeah, I didn't get that one in hardback because it is a very short novella, and I figured I'm not going to waste my money. I'll just go ahead and get the version for the Kindle app. And that was, of course, I am on the wrong place now. The Lost Sisters. All right. And so I got that as well. And, the rowdiness is back. I got that from the Kindle app. And so now I'm just waiting for Queen of Nothing coming along next month. And so the other thing I'm doing right now is I'm also trying to get all of the Lee Bardugo books because I haven't read any of them yet, and I want to read that whole series and do like a read along, like a vlog to go with it. And so I did get Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. Unfortunately, once again, the sizes said they were the same, but they came out looking a little weird and wonky. Oh well, luckily for me, I am not too particular. I don't know, maybe someday I'll get them all to match the right way, but for now, I'm glad I just got these. And then I also ordered the book that goes with it, the short stories that go along with the book series of Shadow and Bone, and the Six of Crows series. So we'll see when that comes through. But those are the books that I just got today. I also have a couple novellas that I picked up this month and a manga. I decided to pick up the manga for Black Butler because I love the anime series and I figured it would be fun to go through the manga. And so I picked up the first of that series. I also picked up the first 2 volumes of Monstrous. This is something I've heard a lot about, a lot of good things, and I absolutely love the art on it. So I think it would be a great series to add in here and there for next month. And I also got 2 different series, like just the first volumes, to just kind of check them out because I don't know what they're about. And the first one is Saga. Apparently this one is where 2 like I think it's like alien species come together and they fall in love and start a family and all the tension and stuff that goes around that. The second one is Paper Girls, which I honestly have no clue what it's about, except for that it's about 4 girls who are paper girls, have a paper route, and their whole adventures that goes with it. So I picked this one up specifically because of the aesthetic. Like, I just love the coloring. I think it's just such a, like, great aesthetic. So I picked that up.
Okay, guys, it is 9:38 on Wednesday morning. And I just finished The Wicked Deep. I can't even tell you. At first I thought the writing was very simple. Then it totally lends itself to the epicness. I know that's not even a word, right? Of this book. Like, I honestly didn't expect it. It was a really, really great book. There was so much like intrigue and mystery and the thrill of like the events that are presumably going to take place, but like you're waiting and waiting and you don't know when it's going to happen. And I felt like it was just done really, really well. And towards the middle, I already like told you there was a moment where I felt like I was in the middle of it. Like everything was stripped away and I was there. I could smell, taste, and feel um, the scene and what was going on. And it pretty much continued all the way through the end. Now, the very, very end after the climax, it is a little slow because I feel like she felt like she had to explain herself, and because she was so poetic, like I'm talking about Shay or John, because she was so poetic um, throughout the story, like she did end on a very poetic note, and I thought that was really good to keep that through. Um, Also, like it's hard to do flashbacks in stories and make them well. And the fact that she had regular chapters that followed this current storyline, and then used like the pages in between the chapters um, to kind of fill in where we, the reader, don't know what's going on, like what happened in the past, why everything's going on. Because, 200 years, like 200 years go by and you don't know everything that happened 200 years ago. You could hear the stories, but they're not all the details, the motivation and everything is translated down. So she did that through these little spots in between the chapters. Like I'll give you an example at the very beginning. So we have our first chapter, and then there's a page in between that's like has a title of some sort, and this one's like a song, and it just gives a poetic like glimpse into the past and like motivations or holes in the story, like things that we don't know. It was a great filler. So I'm very excited I read this, and I'm glad that I ended up getting this at Book Outlet. I got it on sale on Book Outlet, and it came great time, and I am just so excited I have this in my library. I think I'll be rereading it probably every October. Who knows? It's that good, I think. Now, like rating wise, like as a personal reader, I would say it's like around a 4, like a good 3.5 or 4. I think more of a 4. After reading the whole thing, I would say it's like a 4. I really enjoyed it. I really did. And I would definitely recommend it to other people. So, all right, with that done, like onward and upward, I'm still reading and listening to Hunting Prince Dracula. It is exceptional, but I'm trying to like draw it out because I want to like savor this story. It's really great. And like I said before, one of my favorite like love stories, I suppose, between Thomas Creswell and Audrey Rose. I absolutely love like that dynamic. And I guess I'm gonna move on to the next book. It's Wednesday. I'm a little bit behind, I think. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much behind. So I think I'm just gonna go straight for the one I really want to read, which is The Bone Houses. I got it in the Owl Crate edition in September, so I'm ready to read that one. I think it's gonna be a great one. And yeah, today I'm like so behind on my NaNoWrite month, and I'm also behind just on my regular writing schedule. We had some stuff go on in our family this last week, and nothing like crazy, but it definitely has kind of, you know. And this is the face of someone who had a very hard day. Quite literally. My hair is a mess. I'm sitting here like reading The Bone House, which I took the cover off so I could like easily read it. Okay.
I set the cover over here. And I love this cover. And I set it over here so I wouldn't, like, mess it up. And I just literally rolled over and squashed the cover. Ugh. Oh, my hair is a mess. I've been laying in bed here. Nice and comfy. And I thought that, I really thought, hold on. I thought Elias was the prince at first, but I'm totally wrong. He's not the prince. He was the prince's ward. He was found in the forest. So my assumption is either he is a boathouse himself, like that first woman who was brought back, or maybe he is the son of that first woman who was brought back, right, by the cauldron, who gave birth to that little boy who then was murdered by the thief, and the cauldron poured out and he was dead. But what if the magic seeped into him and he came back to life? Huh? Maybe? I don't know. I'm enjoying the book a lot, but it has me like, what's going on here? What's this mystery? I want to solve it right now. All right, everybody. I finished it finally. The Bone House by Emily Lloyd Jones. This is an amazing book. I really enjoyed it. I really was trying to figure out the story before it came to pass. And even though I did have a couple things that I thought were gonna happen, and they kind of did happen, I was still surprised at the end of the story. And there's so much good suspense and action in this story, as well as this honestly, I had read what it was about, the prompt, the synopsis, I suppose. I don't even know if you call it the synopsis. But I read just a brief description of what the book was, and honestly, I don't think I expected it to be what it ended up being. It was really good in a very good, surprising way. I love Emily Lloyd Jones' writing style. It's very atmospheric and descriptive, without becoming too cumbersome. I enjoyed the revelations that each of the characters were making along the journey, and there was a slight romance in the story, but there was a point during the story where I was like, maybe this isn't gonna have a romance. Eventually there was a little bit that was developed through the story, but it did not take away from the focus of everything else. It was just kind of a really nice compliment to the story. I thought it was just done really well. I would definitely give this book a 4-star review. The only reason I'm doing 4 stars instead of 5 is because, because I enjoyed the book, but I think I might have to read it for another, a second time in order to really give it a 5 stars. But it's so good and so worth the time. So if you haven't read this yet, you need to go pick it up and read it. This month is the perfect month to read this book. Honestly, it is. So that's how I feel about this book. I think it's awesome. I am onward to The Haunting of Hill House, which was also a part of the book crate. All right. Update. It's night. I'm officially DNFing Dial M for Murder. I think I might try to go back to it in the future at some point. Probably not in the near future. I think I have to be in a different mindset for this book. I started reading it. Seemed like it was going to be kind of an interesting mystery, and then it just turned into a very slow sort of coming of age. I don't know how you would describe this. Anyways, I gotta get rid of it. It's just not doing it for me. So I'm gonna say goodbye to this book for now. Tragedy.
like I said, I might come back for it. All the books that I buy, I try to hold on to most of the time. Unless I'm giving them to other people to read, I don't think anyone else is going to want to read this book. But it might be a fun, like, read to pick up at some other time when I'm not thinking of, like, spooky, exciting thriller type of books. This is definitely not one of those. So, it's goodbye for that one. So I guess I'll just read The Haunting of Hill House for now, and if I have time, which I don't know if I will, I'll move on to something different as well. But it's sad. This month alone, I have DNF'd. This will be my third book I'm DNFing right now. 2 of those DNFs I probably will never pick up again. Probably being the key word. If enough time goes by, I will probably look at it and think, oh gosh, I should read that book. And it's a vicious cycle. That's all I have to say. All right. So with that, I'm done. All right. I'm here. I'm here. My children are driving me nuts, but it's been a fantastic day. This week has been so hard. Normally I read a ton more than I have this week. Luckily I have gone through 3 of the books. I'm still working on The Haunting of Hill House. I decided to abandon Dial M for Murder. I totally hit a slump. Like, I don't know why. I've never done a reading challenge, never done a readathon before, and I usually read a lot, like a lot. And I'm not in a tremendous mood reader. Yes, there are times where like I'll switch up my TBR halfway through because I'm more ADD than I am moody. But this week has been moody, and I think it has to do with the fact that my children have been out of school for 3 of the 5 days of the school week. And on top of that, this weekend has been absolutely unruly already, and I'm not getting barely anything done except for my bullet journal. Yeah, my bullet journal is probably the only thing. And of course, like, I have an addiction of like looking for new books. Even though I still have a billion books I gotta read, I just keep looking for new ones. It's a bad addiction. So I found a couple that were really great on Book Outlet, but I had to remind myself, calm down. You don't have to do everything all in one year, 1 week, one whatever. So I am I don't know if I'm going to finish this book either, to be honest. I think it's a great, like, classic horror. But I don't think it's really as intensely scary as I thought it would be. It's more psychological. There might be some over description. I don't know. I love description. I just don't like description that doesn't propel the plot forward, and I feel like there is quite a bit of description here that's not plot relevant. But alas, some people love to hear about curtains and all kinds of things like that. I personally am not that kind of person. But anyways, I'm also going to be listening to what am I listening to? The audiobook, Anna Dressed in Blood. Yes, I decided to do this last minute. I don't know if I should be doing it at night. I probably won't do it tonight. Because I told you I am a scaredy cat. And we live in an old farmhouse that creaks and cracks at night, and alas, I will not sleep. So, tomorrow's Sunday, the last day of Spookathon. I'm going to attempt to read the rest of the Hill House, Haunting of Hill House. I don't know if I'll get to it. I'm gonna listen to the rest of Anna Dressed in Blood and try to bust out those 5 books. Be happy, move on. Pretty much feel like I'm already a failure with Spookathon, but whatever. I don't really care because my time and the value that I have in reading, I don't want to lose because I'm trying to push myself to finish a Spookathon, which I think I just need to readjust my mindset before I go into a reading challenge in the future. Because I think I put too much stress on myself to get this all done, and I haven't enjoyed everything that I would like to.